This is a subcommittee hearing on House Study Bill 569, which is an act creating capital murder offense by establishing the penalty of death for murder in the first degree. This bill has been an interesting journey for me, in a way. Conceptually and morally, I believe the death penalty for certain horrific crimes is absolutely appropriate, such as the ones that were just detailed by Representative Hartzell. Yet practically, I arrived at a different conclusion than I expected. I have always believed that life in prison costs taxpayers so much more money, yet I found out in researching this legislation that in fact it costs more to have someone on death row. I have always believed that the death penalty was a deterrent, and while I still believe in some situations that that might be the case, or at least useful in the case that Representative Hartzell spoke about, in general, based on the data, the death penalty is not a successful deterrent. It is also true that the infrastructure necessary to reinstate the death penalty would be very costly. I think the county attorneys alluded to that. I'm also struck, as I did my research, just how many individuals are wrongfully convicted in our country. And as a result of DNA evidence, we're seeing that more and more today. And it really strikes me deep at the thought of executing someone who is innocent. Finally, and most difficult for me from a moral perspective, is how to administer the death penalty fairly. Statistics show, without a doubt, that those of lesser means are more likely to receive the death penalty than are those with greater assets and ability to hire the best attorneys. So my conclusion after researching this bill was not exactly what I expected. I support the death penalty in theory and believe it is absolutely morally okay based upon my faith. But I have great issues with its practical and prudent and fair application. So this is what will now take place. I will advance the bill to full committee for additional consideration, but I do so with grave reservations as to its practical and fair application, and I will certainly express that to my fellow committee members. I truly appreciate your time today and for sharing your strong convictions. God bless you. This committee is adjourned. You know, I think it's important that we challenge our preconceived notions. So in actually researching the bill in terms of its practical application, I arrived at the conclusion I did based upon the research I did. The fact that it actually costs more to administer the death penalty. The fact that it is extremely difficult to administer it fairly when you take into account those that can hire, attorneys because they have a great amount of means to do so versus an individual that might have a public defender. So all of these things came together to convince me that while I believe it is absolutely appropriate that the state administer the death penalty, I have big problems with it from a practical perspective.
Does that mean you'll vote no on committee?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
And just for
why advance it?
Authorization came to you after
I agreed to run the bill in subcommittee, believing that I support the death penalty in practice. That hasn't changed. I suppose what did change for me was for the practicality issue. As far as why advancing the bill, it is because I think it's important for the full committee to have this discussion if they choose to.
Do you have a sense?
And I don't know that they will.